if you're in a relationship and you're not getting the things that you want out of your partner? Are they willing to grow, develop, and change in order to become that person? You know, like, and that's one thing I don't think people are realistic about in relationships and, you know, marriage and all of that. Like, you gotta be, as a woman or a man, you have to be open to communicate and compromise. Stop complaining. Like, it's so disrespectful. But yeah, it was just one night. Now that one night, you got all his demons. You got all her insecurities. That's one thing I'm not about to argue with y'all about. Like, get somebody else to do it. Have you ever had one of those days where you were just like struggling with being grateful, struggling with your gratitude practice? I have a lot of those days. And I know we always see all of the girls on TikTok and YouTube, everybody with their soft life, you know, routine. And journaling and meditating is a big part of that. And it's very beneficial. But sometimes you kind of just get tired and you kind of maybe forget, you know. Sometimes anxiety can just take over and you can just get in those modes where you just don't feel grateful. You're just not happy. And that's okay to have those days. You know, I wish I had somebody tell me that. Like, it's okay to have those days where you're just not feeling it, you know. But you gotta remember to get back to remembering why you started in the first place and being grateful for the things that you have so that you can get more and just to feel more positive about life in general. Because if you don't, baby, I'm about to get ready to go out to dinner. We are in Orlando. It is our last night here. We're about to go to City Walk. I'm about to get dressed and do my makeup. I'm about to show y'all what I'm putting on, and then we're going to have a little chit chat. So I did that feminine archetype test, and it told me, you know, that I was a boho maven. So we're going to put this on. I went and got this from American Eagle. Then I got this little headband, and I got some brown shoes. And I got these two necklaces from Express. So I'm about to put that on, and then we're going to go ahead and do my makeup. Get my earrings. Alright, here we go. Well, hey there, loved ones. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are not, or if you're returning, welcome back. I am about to start doing my makeup, my hair, and all that. But I really wanted to talk to y'all because yesterday was my 33rd birthday, and don't y'all come over here with that auntie stuff. I ain't no auntie yet. Okay, still sis. But anyway, yeah, I turned 33 yesterday, and I will be honest and say that I was struggling with being grateful for a lot of things in my life up until yesterday. I do have a gratitude practice. I journal and I write down the things that I'm grateful for. I do the sticky notes. I do all of the things, right? But there are just times and days where I just look at life and it's like, dang, you know, I'm not doing XYZ, or I don't have XYZ, and that makes me mad. It makes me anxious, and it just makes me frustrated. And then I kind of forget, you know, in those moments that I have so much to be grateful for. Like, girl, you know. And then it's like when you're driving down the street and you see things and it's like, yo, stop complaining. Like, it's so disrespectful to God. It's disrespectful to your own journey. Just like, you know, really having to push yourself push yourself out of your head in those moments and really check yourself. Like, yo, I have so much to be grateful for. Like, even the smallest things in your life, in your relationship. I know people always say, oh, you got a roof over your head, you got food on your table, you got mode of transportation. But it, like, those are simple things, right? We definitely have to be grateful for things like that. But then even things, I'm sitting here, like the other day, I was driving to work, and then my fiance was driving to work. And I was like, yo, I'm so grateful that we have 2 cars. Like, you know, a lot of people have to share one vehicle to get back and forth to work. That's not a stressor that I have. Like, we have privileges that we don't even realize that we have. Like, we can just get up and go and do things like that other people may not be able to do. And this wasn't always the life that I was living. Like, I've been homeless, I was in foster care, like I struggled for a long period of time. And even when I see, you know, other people online living a different, you know, type of life, I'm like, dang, you know, I could be doing better. Like, I could be doing XYZ. But then you find out that people be scamming, you know. Or it's just like social media is not everything that it's cracked up to be. Even like in your relationships, everybody's always complaining about, oh, you don't do 50-50, oh, you don't do this, date somebody like this. You really got to think about things like that on your own terms. You know, if you are a 20-year-old young woman and you are getting the advice from somebody to not date somebody who can't do XYZ, it's like, you're about to be trying to date somebody who's 35, and more power to you if that's your thing. But you cannot realistically, as a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, going to college, getting out of college, and expect for a young man your age to be able to do the same exact thing. Like, we have to be realistic. You know, even when you know, people talk about like Share 7, you know, my good sis Sprinkle Sprinkle, she talks about, you know, she gives financial advice. And that's cool, but she is also honest about the fact that she is only speaking to a certain group of women, certain group of young girls. Not everybody is supposed to be taking her advice. You know what I mean? So you really got to think about your own situation. Be grateful for the things that you do have. And if the things that you have in your life are not, you know, aligned with the things that you want, try to figure out how to get them. You know, if you're in a relationship and you're not getting the things that you want out of your partner, are they willing to grow, develop, and change in order to become that person? You know, like, and that's one thing I don't think people are realistic about in relationships and, you know, marriage and all of that. Like, you gotta be, as a woman or a man, you have to be open to communicate and compromise. Like, if you are with somebody who treats you really, really good, and they don't do one or two things the way that you want, if they're willing to adjust and change and grow, you better stop playing around in these streets. Because from what I heard, the dating pool ain't got too many good options out there. So don't be out here on social media. That's why I'm so glad that I don't get caught up in social media stuff. Like, no ma'am, not at all. Like, you really got to be careful about the stuff that you let impact your mind when it comes to your life. Like I said, I will see some couples online and they'll be like, oh dang, they're doing this. Oh, perfect example, I'm just put it out there. You know, that the girl who just went to jail for a RICO case or whatever. I had seen her go viral like last year, and seen her and her fiance go viral last year, and I was like, dang, that was amazing. Like, how he proposed to her, that was like so beautiful. And just like, I was like, dang, what do they do? You know what I'm saying? I know that they were entrepreneurs, all of that. And so I wouldn't say that I was envious or jealous or anything like that. I was just like, dang, that's really dope that he was able to do that for her. I love seeing black women especially get loved on Out Loud, right? But then a couple weeks ago, I see that they're like going in jail for like some crazy stuff, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, you really never know what is going on in people's lives, you know, the stuff that they share on social media. And that's not the first time that I've seen something like that, like in the last couple of weeks. So it's like, you really got to focus and pay attention to your own life and what you got going on. And if that is what God has for you, and God is going to continue to grow your situation, block out all that extra noise and be grateful for the things that you already have and the things that are going to be coming to you. Because you can really get caught up looking at what everybody else has out here in these social media streets. We got to go outside more. That's another thing I started doing, was making sure that I'm going outside. I had my edge brush. It's like, can I do my makeup and not do my edges? It's raining outside. Is the edges even going to last? Like, let's be really for real right now. You know what? We're just going to go with it and not even do the baby hairs. I'll probably just like slick my hair back or something, because it's going to rain and get wet anyway. Probably really don't need to do too much. But anyway, yeah, being grateful for the things that you already have. And you know, it's sad to those people that feel like they have to do stuff like that. And I actually heard like a lot of good things about her as a person. And I'm sure that these people who do these things that people consider like scamming or whatever, they're not like bad people, but like, you know, things happen. So yeah, I just send out a prayer for those people, and just make sure that you're staying genuine, authentic, and real. You know, just staying pure-hearted, because it's crazy out here in these streets. If you are really easily impressionable, I will say that. If you are easily impressionable, then you can feel defeated. And I will say that I wasn't looking at anybody else's situation and getting anxious. I was looking at my own situation. Like, you know, I'm trying to heal my body from these fibroids so that I can start trying to have babies. Cause I'm 33. Like, and a little bit, let me just put y'all in my business. I kind of was like mad at myself for a minute, because when I was younger, I used to say stuff like, I don't want no kids. Like, who's trying to have babies? I'm not trying to have babies. I'm gonna be the rich traveling auntie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always what I said. I was young. I was like in my 20s. I was just trying to live my best life. I wasn't worried about no man. I wasn't worried about no kids. Like, and I had my own trauma that I was healing from and dealing with. And you know, at 20, I would say 27, 28, I started having a shift. You know, I was still in a very unhealthy relationship at that point in time in my life, but I don't know, I started looking at things differently. Moving to North Carolina kind of made me look at things differently, because there are just a lot of, you know, black families, healthy black families, and people are just kind and good, and just, you know, it's just a very different environment living in North Carolina. And so it made me think differently about the things that I want for my life. Like, well, maybe I do want to get married and have kids and stuff, you know. And so when I was dating my ex, he was talking about marriage, and that was kind of scary to me, because like I said, I wasn't thinking about that. But that was a very traumatic experience for me, So then when I met my now fiance, and he told me he wanted kids, something in my spirit was like, yeah, we giving him a baby. And you know, so when I decided that this is somebody that I would be willing to go through this experience with and for, you know, to bring forth life into this world for us both, because I believe that we are going to create a beautiful family structure. It's like, okay, yeah, I finally found somebody that I'm willing to go through this with, because I know he, you know, God willing, you know, nothing's going to happen to make me, you know, I ain't even gonna say that out loud because I just don't want to speak anything into existence. But yeah, this is somebody that I'd be willing to go through this process with, because he's an amazing man and I know he'll be an amazing father. So I'm like, yeah, let's do this, boo. But you gotta make me a wife first. Okay? And so that's, you know, that's where we at with it now. And so now that we're about to be married in a couple months, now I'm like, okay, what's up, body? When they told me that I had fibroids and it was going to impact my pregnancy, me having anxiety, it's like, dang, that's scary. Did I do this to myself by saying years ago that, oh, I don't want no kids, I don't want to have no kids? I really had that in my head, like, dang, did I curse myself? Because our words have power, you know? So I'm like, did I do that? Did I do this to myself? And that's, you know, that's a very, very real and scary experience to go through. Now that I'm going through it, but now that I'm realizing that having fibroids is a spiritual journey, emotional, spiritual, lifestyle journey, like it's making more sense now. I had a lady reach out to me and she was like, my hot come off. She reached out to me via email. Hold on, let me turn this around. She reached out to me via email and she was like, yeah, you know, fibroids run in my family. And I was like, you know, I let her know what it was that I learned from, you know, other womb health coaches like Sasha Rosa. If you have fibroids and you're not, you know, familiar with Sasha Rosa, you should get familiar with her, cause sis be dropping, ooh, shit. Sis be dropping some jewels. So after she said that, I was like, no, fibroids do not run in your family. And I told her, you know, it's not the fibroids that run in our family. It's not the diseases that run in our family. It's the habits that run in our family. And once we, you know, change the habits, we change the, you know, situations, the health situations. And that's how I look at it. Like, my mom didn't have fibroids, but my grandma had them. You know, who else in my family had them? Other people in my family had them. And I looked at, like, how did they live their lives? You know, how do they live their lives? And I know that a lot of women in my family have changed the situations in their bodies by changing their diet and their lifestyle. And when I told my grandma that I had fibroids, she was like, oh yeah, all you gotta do is take some apple cider vinegar and something else. And I was like, oh, that's all you gotta do? Okay. So it's like, you know, and she even said, she was like, if I would have knew back then what I know now, I wouldn't have gotten a surgery. I would not have gotten a hysterectomy. And so in that moment, I was grateful for opportunity. I was grateful for education. I am grateful still to this day, grateful for, you know, an opportunity to be able to try to heal my body naturally. Because a lot of people don't have that choice or make that choice, I guess. Let me make sure Chaz is not in the camera. You're not in the camera. Huh? He said, oh yeah, people don't know. Exactly, man. People don't know that they have a choice. Like, so now it's like we out here spreading awareness. We have choices to heal our bodies with any disease and ailment. You just got to be willing to do the work. It ain't easy. You know, I had people like, oh, I could do this or I would do this, but I don't want to give up dairy. Well, then you really don't want to heal your body then. Like, so it's like, what are we really talking about? You want to heal your body, but you don't want to give up cheese. So you don't want to heal your body. Like, I just understand. Like, do you or don't you want to, you know, want the results that you're saying that you want? If you do, you're going to have to make some harsh choices. Like, I mean, do your own research, but one thing I'm not about to do is argue with nobody about drinking cow's milk. Now that I know how it affects my body and how I felt and all the changes that I've had in my body since giving up certain things, that's one thing I'm not about to argue with y'all about. Like, get somebody else to do it. So, yeah. I need to do this. Yeah. Wait, is this glue? No, this is my eyeliner. Yeah, we have choices. And so it's another thing to be grateful for. Grateful for life. Because back in the day, our families and the women in our families, they were stressed out. They didn't have options or choices or anything like we do now. You gotta be grateful for evolution, you know? And so now I'm changing how I feel about family, and also opening my heart to new things. Like, I'll be honest and say I had a lot of male trauma, you know? And then when I had gotten when I see my functional health doctor, and she told me, like, you're carrying a lot of your emotional trauma in your womb. Your sacral chakra in your womb is where your creative energy is stored, and also where your emotional trauma is stored. And so I was like, well, what emotion? She said anger and hurt or something, shame, anger, shame, and something else. And I'm like, dang, you know? So it really forced me to have to do the deep shadow work if I really wanted to change my life and heal my body. So if you are a woman who is battling with fibroids or any reproductive issue, I would recommend you seeing a functional health doctor as well, because yeah, it's just really opening my eyes to a lot of different things. Because before moving to North Carolina and before, you know, getting involved with the people that I'm involved with spiritually, I was out here just doing anything. Smoking, drinking, partying, just like, you know, messing with men who weren't taking care of themselves. And when you know, mess with men or people, women, spiritually, sexually, emotionally, when you mess with people who don't take care of themselves, all that energy transfers to you. They don't teach us that. They do not teach us that. And they should. Because that would help us to make better decisions. Like, it's okay to be, you know, sexually liberated and free and all of that. But when you really know and realize what happens when you are, you know, giving your body to somebody, you kind of second guess that free night on that tequila and that Hennessy, you know? It's like, yeah, it was just one night. Now that one night, you got all his demons. You got all her insecurities. Like, really gotta think about it. No? Is it worth it? I don't think so. But again, this is all stuff that we don't really ever learn. And so I'm grateful that I'm now, you know, in my spiritual detox boot camp with wisdom, learning how to cleanse all of the chakras and how to balance them. And I'm grateful that, you know, God allowed me to come to North Carolina and go to massage therapy school so that I could learn about all these different things and be introduced to all these different kinds of people. You know, that's just where I'm at with this birthday. Like, it's just opened my mind to so much, truthfully, honestly. Like, going through so much traumatic stuff, it's easy to, for lack of better terms, you know, keep a victim mindset emotionally, because you're still hurt, you're still angry, you're still carrying all of that heavy stuff. But like, once you really like release it and you become lighter, and it's like, dang, man, life is pretty good. You know, it's not as bad as it could be. You know, it's not as bad as it could be. Like, there are really people out here who really can't do no better, can't get no better, and just like, you know, the life that they have is the life, you know, they're not trying to get better, to do better. And God has afforded some of us different opportunities, and it's like, yo, we really gotta sit in that for a moment. Like, yo, it definitely could be different. I definitely could not have anything to eat. How dare I? And I don't want to say like, how dare I waste food, because I'm not about to force myself to eat food, because that's how you get eating disorders. But even that's a privilege. Having the privilege of being able to throw food away, yeah, we don't think on stuff like that. Alright, people always say, when you about to throw food away, there's people in third world countries that would eat that food. We are privileged. You gotta think about stuff like that. For real. I gotta put my lashes on. Does this look okay without the edges? Let me do my lashes. Put a little bit of this on. Yeah. There was a point in time where I was like, oh man, I want to leave my job because I'm not the happiest, you know, like this isn't fulfilling me. And there are so many people out here in the world who work at jobs that they're unfulfilled at. How dare I complain? And you know, some people are like, oh, you have that right, you shouldn't force yourself to stay in places that don't make you happy just because other people don't have the option to. But it's like, we still gotta look at that as kind of a privilege, that I have the opportunity to go and find another job because I have a vehicle, because I have resources like a laptop and computer, like I have, you know, the mental capabilities to be able to do certain things. These are all privileges that we need to be grateful for. So it's like, you know, and there are people who are doing better than me. It's like they have more certifications or more networking, like that can, you know, easily get different jobs. They ought to be grateful too. It's just, you know, looking at life. I don't know, I woke up feeling different, thinking different, just like about so many different things in general. Like, I really did, y'all. I'm going to put my lashes on, but you know, I'm not wear every day. Then that's another thing too. I really wanted to mention this. Like, a lot of people say that they're not able to eat the way that we have to eat in order to heal our bodies. They can't afford to buy supplements, or they can't afford to buy organic food and stuff like that. So if you are somebody who's able to do those things, recognize that that is a privilege. Recognize that it is something to be grateful for. I had to change my mindset with that. Instead of like being upset, like, oh man, I can't eat chicken no more. Oh, I gotta eat, you know, organic fruits and vegetables. There are some people out here who can't afford to buy organic fruits and vegetables. So it's like changing your mindset around certain things will, you know, make you look at stuff different. Like, there are really people out here who wish they could be in your position. So shut up. So I decided to not go with the lashes, and I just put some mascara on. I'm about to head out and go to Universal to end my birthday weekend. If you are struggling with being grateful and expressing gratitude, just take some time to sit with yourself and really think about all the things that you have in your life right now, small or big. Just analyze your entire life and just remind yourself that, I know it sounds bad, but it could be worse, you know, but it also could be better. And the only way to get to better is to be grateful for your now. That's the only way that I've been able to reach the lengths that I've been able to get to in my life, by being grateful for the small things. I wasn't able to get a townhouse until I was grateful for my 2-bedroom condo. I wasn't able to get a man to marry until I was grateful for my singleness. I wasn't able to get a better paying job until I was grateful for the job that I currently had. You have to remember to be grateful for the things that you currently have in order to get all of the blessings that God is trying to give to you. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old great thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I love y'all so much, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.